What is menstruation? Menstruation, also known as a period or monthly, is the regular discharge of blood and mucosal tissues from the inner lining of the uterus through vagina. So today we are going to talk about how menstruation is considered as a social problem and why it is considered as a taboo. Roughly half of the female population, around 26% of the global population, are of reproductive age. Most women menstruate each month. Why talking about menstruation is considered taboo?
Whether it's menstruation or menopause, talking regarding periods has typically been a taboo subject. In India, even mere mention of the subject has been taboo within the past and even to the current date. The cultural and social influences seem to be a hurdle for the advancement of knowledge on the topic. Menstruation continues to be thought of to be dirty and impure. The underlying basis for this myth is additionally the cultural beliefs of impurity related to menstruation. It's more believed that menstruating ladies are unhygienic and unclean, and therefore the food they prepare or handle will get contaminated. Cultural norms and religious taboos on menstruation are typically combined by ancient associations with evil spirits, shame, and embarrassment surrounding sexual reproduction. Perceptions of Hinduism center on notions of purity and pollution because bodily excretions are believed to be polluting, as are the bodies when producing them. It is said that they must be purified before they should be allowed to return to our family and day to day course of our life. So we did a survey to explore the beliefs and attitude towards menstruation, and we found that around 60% of the girls face discrimination from society, which involves restrictions to do religious and household chores. The main reason behind the spreading of menstrual shame is believed to be the family or friends, and the reason behind this attitude among them is lack of education in this context and orthodox mindset.
Menstruation is surrounded by various taboos in our society, which often leads to social discrimination against women. Most oftenly, we can see that women, when they are menstruating, are not allowed in places of worship. Few years back, in a judgment, Supreme Court declared that the practice of not allowing women in Sabrimala temple is unconstitutional, and a law should be made to stop this practice. From centuries, this practice has been followed where women of menstruating age, that is between 10 to 50 years, are not allowed because they are considered as impure. So there is one more temple, Kamakya Devi temple. Menstruation is considered very pure and sacred, and it is worshipped. So these two examples show the conflicting views of our society regarding menstruation. On one hand, it praises it, it considers it as pure and sacred, and on the other hand, it's considered impure and taboo, and which should not even be talked about openly.
Recently, Zomato has announced a paid period leave for the female employees, and we also gathered some more views on this topic of others through a survey. And we find that there is a one group who said yes, it is needed for tackling the age-old taboo in India and by providing more awareness and open discussions in the society. And it also intentioned at providing women the freedom to talk to people and the workplaces that yes, such biological differences exist and that which are needed to be accommodated at workplaces, and it's a woman right to have some provisions regarding with it. While there is another group not which not only include men but also the women said no, it would not be a good idea because it will lead to a hiring biases and also will justify the low salaries for the women. And through a labeling theory we can also say that this will reinforce the stereotype that which labels women as someone which need more protection and support, and this will might reinforce the biases in hiring, compensation, salaries, and many more. Also there are some privacy concern because like any other health issue, this health related issue is also totally dependent on a person to decide whether he want to share this with others or not, and how open would they like to be about it. So overall, yes, means this period leave can be a good idea for eliminating these set up taboos and stereotypes in the society, but also have some challenges behind it.
Hello, myself Shikhar Sharma. Today I am with Dolly Aswani, who is a social worker and is founder of a non-profit organization named Angan for All. During the pandemic time, she successfully ran a campaign on menstrual hygiene. So hi Dolly,
Hi, Shikhar.
when you work on field, how and what you talk about menstruation?
Okay, so when I work on field, I go in slums and a lot of schools where, because of the coronavirus pandemic, the schools were shut. But since all the girls who come into that school are from the same locality of the school, so we go there and we simply start by one question to all the girls and the ladies when we talk, and we simply ask, ki, why do periods happen? Why exactly do they happen? And you will be surprised that a woman who's in her 40s and has a girl child of 13 or 14 years of age, she doesn't know why does it happen. And that is why we go on field to put that awareness out there, so that when the mother knows, only then the girl knows. Because we'll go after doing a 15 or 20 minute session, but the girl and the mother are still there together for the next 20 years. And if they don't talk about it, then who will? So yeah.
As we all know, menstruation is a social problem in India. And since you run an NGO on this, what are the problems faced by girls?
Okay, so first of all, I should tell you that I have an NGO I've started this year during the coronavirus pandemic. The NGO's name is Angan for All, and one of the projects that we run in Angan for All is menstrual hygiene awareness and distribution of menstrual kits. So in that kit, what I noticed, what the main problem that I noticed in the pandemic was the house help that came in my house. She stopped using safe ways during her periods, safe ways of using a pad or anything, any hygienic way, only because she couldn't afford it anymore. Only because the men of the family and a lot of people in the family lost their economic backing. And even then they thought that they can't afford to use or to spend 40 to 50 rupees on that packet of pads. And that's when I thought that I'm a BTech graduate. If I will not do it, if I have a phone, if I have an internet connection, if I will not do something for women like these in the pandemic, then who will? And that's when we started, and that's when I saw that there is a problem. Because I am a woman of privilege, I can afford that pack of pads. But the woman who's coming into my house has stopped using only because she couldn't afford to use that 40 to 50 rupees for her own hygiene. And that's when we decided for this menstrual hygiene campaign.
Okay, Dolly. So, what is the difference in perception of this menstruation in urban and rural areas?
Okay, interesting question, and a very important one, because people like you and me who are educated people, even when I got my first period, Shikhar, I did not know what was happening with me. Again, I come from an urban household. I have a mother who is very educated. I have a family who is very liberal in their thinking. But a 13-year-old girl, 14-year-old Dolly Aswani did not know what was happening to her. So if an urban household girl goes through this, just imagine what atrocities, what mental situation a rural girl goes through. Because she literally doesn't know. When I got my first period, I thought I have blood cancer and I started crying. So just think what they think. They would literally just like think, okay, life is finished. And again, the second point which we encountered during this whole pandemic was a lot of people said that you are distributing pads to rural women. Don't do that because they are not sustainably right. They take a lot of 100 years to dispose. And you can give them an option. The urban woman, the urban janta told me that you can tell them about menstrual cups, you can tell them about tampons. Let me tell you that the society, the sociological perspective of the Indian society is that nothing should go inside a girl's vagina before marriage. So how exactly are you telling me to tell those rural girls, to tell them about menstrual cups, to tell them about tampons, when they don't know that something like a pad exists? So there's a very big difference, because we are English speaking folks. We know how to use Instagram, we know how to use social media, but the rural janta does not. Even if they do, they don't know how to access the right amount of content. I can just go on YouTube and search a Menstrupedia YouTube or any content that makes me aware that such a situation. Yeah, okay. And the third problem that the rural janta and the urban janta faces is very similar, that both of us don't know. You asked me for a difference, but I'm telling you the similarity. But we don't know why exactly does this happen. Rural, and actually when it comes to the rural janta, they are more liberal when it comes to women working during their menstrual cycles. You will see in a lot of urban households that women are not even allowed to enter their rasoi ghars, their kitchens, only because they are being thought of as a woman who has impure blood coming out of her body. But rural women, no, they work on fields from 5 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock in the evening, even if they are on their first day of period or their last. So there is a vast difference in the whole rural and urban perspective. And I guess workshops and all the awareness sessions we do, we target both the urban janta and the rural janta as well, and try to, lessen that difference and even increase the similarities that we guys have. So yeah.
Okay. So, what makes you work in this field, and have you ever personally experienced any humiliation regarding this from society?
So, to be very honest to you, I am no one to talk about menstruation. The only fact is I'm a girl and I go through this every month, and I have enough information instead of just that information of chapter 8 of 10 standard of reproduction that you and me have gone through in the CBSE and NCRT pattern of syllabus. It's I know because I go through it, and I'm very woke in a way that I go through YouTube videos, I go through a lot of content that are written by people. And if I wouldn't have came across that woman who comes to my house and who was facing a problem of not able to afford a pad, I would not have done anything for this. So I guess I started working for this issue only and only because I saw a problem and I wanted to work for it. I did not just want to go on social media and post a story about it, that why isn't the government providing subsidized pads to women. The government will do its work at its own time. What we can do is what really matters. It started again, as I told you, I come from a very liberal household, very educated household, but since I was a kid, I was told you should not water plants when you're on your period, you should not touch the pickle when you're on your periods. And when I started going through the content on social media, I actually took that bold step of watering a tulsi plant, which is actually in front of us. We are sitting in my balcony and the tulsi plant is in front of us, and the tulsi is blooming, and I water it even if I am on my period or not, and nothing happens to the tulsi. I touch the pickle, nothing happens to the pickle. So I guess we all girls go through this. It's just it's not spoken about more, and we think if we take that step, something will happen to the plant or something will happen to the pickle, and you should not go to the temples and everything. You go to the temple and see what happens. Kyunki, understand this, a rapist, a murderer, a corrupt man, anybody can enter a temple, but a woman with periods cannot enter a temple. Is there any logic in that? So yeah.
Okay. So, what difference did you notice after your awareness workshop and kit distribution?
Okay, so very amusing. I'll tell you a very amusing situation. When we asked even aged women, like 60-year-old woman, why do periods happen? They simply said, "अगर फूल नहीं होगा तो फल कैसे आएगा?" They literally talk about periods like this.
Okay.
And when I was there, I took very simple examples. You cannot use English words like ovaries and uterus in front of them, right? You have to use words like बच्चेदानी के ऊपर 2 अंडाशय है. तो हमको ऐसे समझाना पड़ता है उन लोग को. We have to make them understand that just like how a bird gives an egg, a woman gives an egg every month, and that comes out of the ovary, goes into the uterus. The uterus line is filled with that whole blood wall, and if you have sexual intercourse with a man, that converts into an ovum, into a fetus, and that is supplied. All the food and everything that you intake is supplied by that wall. So I made them understand that this is as normal as it can be. The blood that you have every month is not impure, and they were aghast when I told them कि bahar in Western countries this period blood is used as manure in fields, and they were taken aback. They were like, "What are you saying?" We were like, "Yes, it is true. It's only because they do know how to access internet, but they don't know how to access the right content." So I guess when I told them these things, and the difference they noticed was I literally took interviews of them after 1 week of that workshop, and they were so happy that, you know, we don't consider ourselves impure anymore. And I go out in the open, and when I have my periods and nobody stops me from entering the rasoi, I water the tulsi, and all these things. It's just little baby steps that makes them understand that they are not impure, they are not alien when they get their periods, and that is what makes me happy after all these workshops.
Okay, Dolly. So, what message would you like to give to everyone?
Okay, I just said it some moments ago that Shikhar, you and I come from the same school, FII, and the only time we knew about periods was in 8th or 9th standard when the whole chapter of reproduction came. But let me tell you, a girl has her period when she's in 5th or 6th standard. So you understand the whole logic behind it. Most of the schools have white uniforms, and the girl who gets her period for the first time, she's so terrified that what happens if the uniform gets stained, what happens that if boys see what she's going through. So the very fact that we have to educate not only our girls about what they are going through, we should educate our boys. Okay, I mean, when we were talking about this interview, you kept on saying mensuration. While mensuration is nothing, it was just a chapter we had in 10th standard of geometry. It's menstruation. So if our boys would not know what this is, I mean, nothing will happen. So my message to whoever is watching this video is educate yourself. Go on these pages called Menstrupedia. It's available on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere. There's a very beautiful lady called Aditi who runs this startup called Menstrupedia. It is recognized by the United Nations. It is. I'm not advertising anything. It's just that if you're a guy and you want to know more about it, you should understand that you have a sister right now, you have a mother right now, you will have a girlfriend in the future, and all of them, you will have a daughter in the future as well, and all of them go through periods. And what if, Shikhar, you tell me that you're alone at home with a daughter and she gets a period and you don't have your wife or your partner to make her understand what menstruation is? So you should educate yourself. The people who are, I'm not just saying about boys, you can be a trans man, you can be a trans woman, you can be anybody from the LGBTIQA plus community. You should all know what women go through, because we know what you go through every morning. So yeah, you should know what girls go through, and that's it. And you are existing, you are sitting in front of me, I am sitting in front of myself and the universe because my mom had periods, and the period stopped for 9 months, so you should know.
So, thank you. This was Jolly Aswani.
We have come to a conclusion that menstruation can be considered a social problem, as it is concern of the large section of the society. For a country like India, where established stereotypes and taboos are restricting the freedom and rights of women. For example, Sabrimala temple case, where women entry is restricted in the temple. And this is a clear violation of right to practice any religion. And another example we can see is like in some parts of the country, women are not allowed to pray or either enter any holy place during menstrual cycles. Some steps like giving menstrual leave to employees are taken, which are good but not enough. Some NGOs are also working in this regard, which is good to see.